This is going to be a little more time intensive. The second stage is called idea mining. It's something that people in the last happening are familiar with, but I'll explain it to people that are new here. Rather than looking at materials and trying to summarize what the materials say, the concept of idea mining is that you look at some piece of media, some piece of data, some piece of research. You quote unquote mine it for ideas. Rather than trying to summarize the whole thing, you look for an idea in there that you find valuable and you give that idea a name. And that name becomes your page name, and then you write about that idea. And maybe you reference the work that you pulled it from. But the page is now not about just that work. It's now about that idea. And as other people find other works and other mentions and other connections, they can start to connect that idea into a network. So here is the idea mining task. We have a number of documents here. We have 3 summaries of some early conferences on hypertext from the 1980s. A couple other summaries from computer-human interaction conferences from the 1980s that mention hypertext. And I don't want you to read all of them. I just want you to read one. And I just want you to find at least one idea in there that could be a concept for a new page. So if we go to hypertext 87, we see this, the navigation problem of getting lost in hyperspace. And we think, rather than even summarizing this, we're going to make a page, and that page is going to be called Getting Lost, right? Let's do it down here. Okay, so I'm going to make a page. I'm going to call that page Getting Lost. And we're just going to pull in, oh, I lost it. Great. Well, you know what? We got the link right here, right? So here we discuss, so this is a synopsis, and we know that a synopsis discusses what the page is supposed to be about. So we're going to say here we discuss how the web has dealt with it, why users feel this way, how the web has dealt with it, and whether federated wiki exacerbates the problem. And so now I might write something that's actually, we might pull it from Andy's thing here. So Nielsen says, mentions this guide usability study he did. And this reminds me that early in the web, and now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking this needs to be maybe its own page. Oops. Okay, so now what I'm thinking is, what is the name of this page? And just to kind of keep you up with my sort of muddled thinking at this point, there's this idea of getting lost, and as I read it, I noticed this Nielsen footnote about different types of links, right? So you can have in guide, you used to have, you would hit a link and it would kind of open up, like it would expand some additional text for you to look at. And then you'll have, our more traditional HTML links, right, where you press one and you jump to another page. And what Nielsen noted in his usability study of a guide document was that, the things that jumped you to entirely new places were much more confusing to users than things that preserved some form of context. And so I want to create a page on that. Let's find out what they, and then I'm remembering that. I'm remembering there was this discussion between Guido van Rossum, the inventor of Python, and Mark Andreessen, the primary coder behind Mosaic and Netscape. There was this discussion. Guido van Rossum thought that there should be these sort of expandable links in HTML, and Andreessen said, well, what's the difference? So let me see if I can find that. Here's the Guido van Rossum one. This took me a little time to find. He calls these folds, right? So let's call these fold links. What Andreessen says is that functionally it's the same thing, right? You go and you get text. Okay, so let's get this. This is the Andreessen one. And what we're going to do here is we're going to, this is HTML. And then let's get the Van Rossum one. It's HTML. Let's get the Jacobs-Nielsen piece here. Actually, we can just drag this over, right? Okay. This, by the way, is why we try to minimize markup. You notice that I'm cleaning this up in order to reuse it. So we don't disallow markup, but we do try to discourage it. So now I want to link this up to this. Part of the problem was the So at this point, we've created that original Getting Lost article off of the Jacob Nielsen document. But we've done something else here, right? The Getting Lost article was the springboard, which got us thinking about this fold links article. And we've added our original content and our original insight to the wiki. And that's the idea here. That's what I want you to do. It is important for you to do the idea mining, but where appropriate, again, fan out, spread out, contribute what you know.